What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another edition, Holy Try Football Podcast. It's me, AY, here with the Week 6 preview. Good you from the beautiful state capital, the blue state, the Commonwealth, where dinosaurs once roamed of Pennsylvania. To my west, Deber, what's up?
Did you just stick it to me? That's what happens when you try and post the link. I should have waited until after we finished the open. I'm half tempted to restart the broadcast, but we forge on.
Don't cut it.
I'm doing all right. I got the throwback pit on.
I've been seeing a lot of, speaking of dino, a lot of Dino Cat fodder on the interwebs these days.
That's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
But that's the golden age of Pitt, at least for the 21st century.
Well, it was block, I would argue.
Okay.
The block in 08, the block in 08 and 09.
Say Larry Fitzgerald almost winning the Heisman and Brandon Knight and those guys.
Oh, I thought you were just talking football, but
no,
in terms of purely football.
The Dino Cat presides over the golden era of 21st century Pitt athletics.
That is true. Yeah, combined for sure. Actually, no. I could
you go block.
Pull it back. I renege because that was in 09. The Pitt basketball team was a 1 seed. Those Brandon Knight teams
never combine that with the Juan Stash in his 9-3 year.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that? Okay.
If Fitzgerald had won the Heisman, then maybe have a point. But
he didn't win that.
Thank you, Ron Cook. One of the most inexplicable things of all time is how a Pittsburgh journalist does not vote for the Pitt guy. He voted for Jason White.
He didn't want to seem biased.
Seemed biased the other way is what he did.
He didn't want to seem biased.
Oh! There's your replay. All right, we're off the rails early, and we're back on.
Okay. Ken, what's up?
It's been pretty dreary the last couple of days. A little rain, pretty chilly here in New York, but can't complain. It's just was really looking forward to the weekend, antsy about the game. Could see it going any number of directions.
What's the vibe around town after last night's loss?
I haven't been out and around town. I was out in town during the lead up to the game. A lot of people feeling comfortable. They like Garrett. They like their chances. I think whoever the Red Sox pitcher was, they weren't that scared of him. I think
clearly they didn't look past the, I would say, good performances he had for the Astros. And not look back to the 2015 wild card performance. That's all I'll say about that.
Yes.
Schwarber again getting him.
Schwarber has his number, so Boston moves on and sets up.
Sad.
Sets up
Mike Brown and shut him down 3. Very sad.
So.
Ando Man checking in, friend of the pod and longtime friend of the 811 crew. I don't know if you ever met him, AY.
I think he has, yeah.
But checking in, saying he lost his apartment on the Yankees money line. So sorry to hear that. Hope your second apartment went on the St. Louis Cardinals, the evil Central Empire.
The Central Empire.
Maybe he can shack up with Barbalace.
Or that, yeah.
So yeah, ready for that. So big weekend with that and the quadruple header of games on Saturday. No, wait, never mind. That's Friday, quadruple. Or is it Saturday? Yeah, Friday's quadruple. Saturday's just NL game 2s. But anyways, a good enough slate to hold us over. Tessie. You ready? I got some news here. You want to hear it?
I cannot wait to hear the news. Let's hear the news.
AY, for those not long-time listeners, has put 2 hands around the news segment of the show.
This is a new undertaking for him.
Yep. He's done an exemplary job.
He used to be upset with my news and notes. Now he's taking his own news and notes. These are better.
Started off.
I wonder why, because you were talking about Penn State's 18th best recruit for 5 minutes.
Started off with my affinity for following the FCS, which we'll get to later. LeVar Burton named Grand Marshal of the Rose Bowl Parade.
And Jeopardy? We don't know.
We don't know. Amodio is at what, 30, 5-ish now. The current Jeopardy champion. We'll see.
That is Rooster. Is that Matt?
That is
That is Rooster's first roommate in Arlington, Virginia.
That is friend of the pod, Stephen.
Was it really?
Yep.
Yeah.
We met. Ken, did you ever meet him?
I've met him once, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you stayed at the apartment.
Small world. I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's sharp as a tack.
Roos knew him from IBM. Worked with him at IBM. Roos, I don't think ever invited him out to trivia, but that was his mistake. It seems like that was a misstep by Rooster.
Holy smokes! We want to dig. I'm going to dig deeper on that. Wow.
Rooster, back in August, Rooster, first thing he did when he got into one of that trip in Philadelphia. First thing he did, stopped in at 7 o'clock. I got to check out. I got to watch Jeopardy tonight. Got to watch Matt.
Meanwhile,
a month and a half later,
I think they're acquaintances best.
Well, I don't think he's talked to him since they moved out.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're colleagues.
Colleagues. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good deal. We have some play like a champion drama. Notre Dame and Oklahoma. Apparently, OU had to sign up 80 years ago.
Well, what did Lou Holtz say? They the way they played, they needed it twice or something like that. He said something like that.
Honestly, I didn't read much into it because I don't really care. But I just thought it was a cool little news note if you want to dig deeper. I guess OU was a little butthurt that Notre Dame got all the publicity for it, for making it big. But it seems to, with copyright and trademarking, Notre Dame has landed it. And I think everyone associates it with them. So maybe they'll play like it more often. We'll see.
Isn't it a little bit like Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump's "Make America Great Again" thing?
Yes.
We can move on.
Kiffin apologizes. I know, Dan, you very much enjoyed his pregame interview.
Phenomenal, yeah.
He later apologized for the mic drop. Said it was unplanned. And
get the popcorn ready.
I thought that was a very good hot route by Al, the Alabama elephant, to don the popcorn costume late in the game.
He had it ready in the second half.
They made a trip down to, I guess, the warehouse, and I guess
the Halloween stores are open right now. Well,
they had it from last year. Apparently, he wore it last year once too. Mm-hmm. So they went down, swapped it in, and the troll was on. So good work by them.
Disappointed in how that game went. I know we sprinkle into some recap here with our pods nowadays, going once a week. But yeah, expected more out of them. But you knew Nick Saban would have had that defense ready to go after last year's exposition
got off to a pretty good start. With the long drive, and then just couldn't punch it in. I was like,
right,
not great.
Not great. Not great. Illinois last week was in a battle with Charlotte, and Burt has now abandoned the gray ghost uniforms for homecoming.
I have to catch a look at these. Maybe I can put them in there.
You don't know the gray? They beat.
No, I didn't see. I've been in an accounting bubble for since Monday morning.
You remember they wore them? They beat Wisconsin in those when Wisconsin.
Yeah. Those are the same ones. They weren't a new.
Yeah.
Okay.
While you're searching, have you seen Tennessee's dark mode uniforms?
Oh, I don't want to see that.
See, yeah, they have such great uniforms. I don't love it. Sight unseen. I know AY, you have a.
It's
affection from.
I do, but mostly when it's.
Are they the same ones from 2009? That's what I'm seeing.
No, they were freaking Adidas back then. They're not the same ones.
Okay.
But they are the same one.
I'm watching the video. They couldn't just post a picture. Thank you, Tennessee football.
There is a picture. There's pictures here.
I don't mind the black trim on the helmets. That's an interesting twist. Okay. Look like Bethel Park High School.
You know what? I don't hate them. I don't hate them.
AY, what's your lowest grade you would give black jerseys? B-?
Yeah. Yeah. As far as
Okay.
A+ would be purely black and white, a la Permian Panthers and Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Just 2 colors.
Are they colors or are they the absence of color? And all the colors.
I think we're at semantics at this point. But if you, I'm not going to die on the hill of color. So yeah, we can call them absent.
Can I, since we do have a video portion, let me just try something. We probably should have done this in one of our tests that we didn't do. Let me just see here if I can share my screen and get the video up there. Don't sue me, Tennessee.
Yeah, we're just spreading it.
There we go. I feel like.
There we go.
Wow. I don't know if I like it. We are now a visual medium officially.
That's right. We're basically Brendan Schaub's podcast.
Yeah, those are nice.
Okay.
And I don't hate them. Well, look at this. This is
or Joe Rogan.
Oh.
That was a little bit of a taste of Inception there.
That's right.
I like that.
Finishing up the notes here.
I mean, we don't have to go into Urban. Everybody's seen that.
Can I give some thoughts on this?
Yeah, you can. I want to hear some thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll address it as well, seeing it's...
Yeah, AY,
this is your coach.
It's my coach. Look, Dan, go ahead.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Here's the situation.
We all know the situation now with the video and the move.
That's what I'm going to address. Yeah.
John Delane, Tennessee is performing above expectation more than anyone in college football this year. That's a take.
It is.
I would go with Arkansas still, but that's remains to be seen. Still time for the Vols. Not a terrible loss to the Panthers, and we'll see.
More than anyone in college football? Are you kidding me? They lost to the Panther raid.
Yeah, but Pitt was a favorite. And they hung in there. Anyway, Urban Meyer. So I'm taking this way back to 2002. Gets the Bowling Green, runs circles, didn't win the MAC, but runs circles, run a lot of the competition. I'm always envious of coaches that can do that because there's really not that much of a talent disparity unless you get like a quarterback from Alabama and transfer in for God knows what reason. Cool. Gets to Utah. Also amazing at the time. And then you see what Kyle Whittingham was able to do and build over the span of a decade and a half. I'm sorry, I'm reading John's comment. We'll get to you in a second, John. Gets to Florida, whoop-de-doo, as we all know.
Oh, my God.
Gets to Ohio State, whoop-de-doo. You have all the bells and whistles at those places, not as impressed. So it was interesting when he gets this job to see what he could do from a pure coaching standpoint. And it's been pretty miserable. Slightly undermanned, but it's been pretty miserable. So I didn't think it could be worse than Spurrier, as some started to think from like the Hard Knocks clip. They talked about his conversation, and he said multiple times about every game's Alabama and blah, blah, blah. This is potentially worse than Petrino. It's amazing. All right, anyway, you're up. And then we'll get to John's comment.
It's certainly not good, but I see people, the thing that just random things, comments. One, it's like, listing everything he's done wrong. It's like he didn't fly home with the team. Well, no, it's a long week. He's from there. He has family in the area. Okay, so he doesn't fly home with the team. What's he going to do, fly back the next day? I don't care if he doesn't fly home with the team. This isn't middle school where you ride the bus home unless your parent takes you home. I don't care about that. So I'm sure plenty of teams, the coaches might stay behind or players, whatever.
I'm sure Can's posted this. And I'm sure AY started today, and I'm sure Ken has not heard today on Vilmer, on Siller's podcast.
I didn't listen to it yet. I'll get that.
Oh, my gosh. Well, he is, to paraphrase, a bit of a spoiler, but he's in on the conspiracy. Like, he thinks this was orchestrated as a way to potentially get fired or an excuse to resign.
Amazing.
So they're out there, people that like that guy gets paid by the NFL or whoever is in business with the NFL to commentate on NFL games, and he is out there saying this on a pretty big medium in Russiller's podcast. So, wow, I don't know about that. I don't think I can go that far, but it's interesting that someone with those credentials would actually say that he thinks it's staged and an excuse to eventually probably take the USC job or something else that may open.
No, the one guy at work said, "Is he like? How isn't he fired?" I was like,
I don't know if he should be fired.
And I was like, as I said, I go, "What's he getting fired for? Sticking his hand in someone's butt?"
This is
the
really something that him and his wife have to deal with. Him and his family.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with.
This has nothing to do with it.
Football job.
To that point, distractions and taking the focus on winning football games. I understand how that is something he shouldn't be doing, and he should be reprimanded for it.
Totally get it. Totally get the locker room very well could be lost.
I didn't love that. It's only a half bite. It's not a full.
But also, I think it was Feldman that ran a just texted like a bunch of athletic directors, like 65 or something like that. Maybe even more than that. And I think like 70-some% of them said they would not touch Urban Meyer with a 10-foot pole.
I don't know why they wouldn't do that other than not being able to trust that it'll be around for.
Well, they just wouldn't trust him, period. And it's
John saying maybe he should be fired for washing his hands.
It's more than just the issue with the bar situation here. It's the other stuff now. With them hiring the Iowa strength coach, the situation with the wide receiver coach as well, Smith. I realized that got Gene Smith at Ohio State suspended for a couple of games, that situation. And then you go back to the issues down in Florida also. I mean, I think it's a long track record now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very easy for these ADs to sit back and say
they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it.
I think it's easy for them to say that, though.
USC would deal with it.
She's already come out and said that she wouldn't.
Yeah, John.
John, you're not wrong. You're
not wrong, but he's also won championships at two different schools. Right. That's
but
all.
It also
with a capable path at USC.
That survey was 78% or whatever. That still leaves 1 out of every 5 athletic directors that would take it. And it only takes one, and it only takes one good situation. The question is, would he come back to college as a thing?
No, but when the rubber meets the road, that number 78% certainly goes down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very, very easy to say that right now when you don't have to make the decision or you need a coach.
Mm-hmm. He's certainly questionable, but in terms of what you can actually pin to him, it's interesting.
I'm interested to hear what John thinks of this in SEC.
Can we downshift to Tennessee, though?
No, I was not going to downshift to Tennessee. I was to downshift to LSU.
I would say
with this new loss, with this latest loss, are you coming around to them firing him this year?
Edo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't. So, yeah, from LSU, I don't like him for LSU now.
John's an LSU fan.
Yeah. I'm not going after him if I'm LSU. I think USC in a little bit more of a desperate situation, not coming off a national championship 2 years ago. Then, yeah, I think you probably – who do you want, Billy Napier, John?
He could go over to – I don't know where you go, though, honestly. There's no – maybe he wants a Campbell.
Campbell's.
I don't know who you would go after at this point.
Can you fire Ed O after 2 years after?
I think you can. Because you remember before the national championship, he was on the hot seat. He lost to Troy. He lost to whoever. It just took one bad season, and then now another subpar season.
He wants the Lane Train.
Oh my God! You realize Lane Train is what 4-6 in the SEC or something like that, and you want him now?
That'd be crazy if the Lane Train went from.
That'd be hilarious. People clamoring all over the Lane Train. He could have a great season, but that guy's. I mean, he went. What did he go last year? 5-5 or something like that.
Oh,
I think they were a little bit better than that, weren't they?
And he's 4-6, I think, in the SEC overall right now. Yeah. I don't know. Give him a chance. Not that he won't be good this year. No, not that I'm saying he won't be good this year, but give him a second to actually earn his due here.
Yeah, but Tennessee, I'm just doing a quick look. I mean, you have to say Michigan State obviously is probably the right answer.
That was my first thought.
I said Arkansas earlier. That was what jumped in my
honestly,
first.
If you want to give Tennessee credit, give Nebraska credit. Honestly, you're going to hang in there. They hang in there tough on the road at Norman. They should have beaten Michigan State. They crushed Northwestern here.
And they're going to win this week.
And his latest comment, we appreciate all the interaction here, John. This is basically, but I think
if Lane had a top 60 defense, if Penn State had Lane
I have to push back on that though, because I don't think we just saw they don't have the beef. It doesn't seem to keep up with Alabama on offense either. They don't have. I mean, they tried. They did an okay job. I talked about already on the opening drive of moving the ball and controlling it, but then they hit a wall.
Yeah.
And so I don't think
complaining
about it being a top 60 defense.
And that he wouldn't do better at LSU. I'm not saying that he wouldn't do better at LSU, but you
better be careful, kid. This is your LSU brethren.
On the train here, on the Lane train, despite only being at Ole Miss for a year and 5 games.
This is this is your LSU brethren.
I am an LSU fan.
Can't be having so much info.
Third on the totem pole.
So this is a long one. Of course, we're gonna fire O.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of.
All right.
Tennessee, real quick. So, we already did that. Never mind.
Yeah, we just did that. Tennessee. There were a litany of teams above them in the expectations.
Yeah, we don't know how good the Florida team.
I put Iowa above them. I put Penn State above them. Outperforming expectations. Maybe not Penn State. A lot of people expect them to bounce back.
Yeah, I thought it was possible for both, I think, though. I would put – although we'll have to see with Tennessee. I mean, they just dump trucked Mizzou, who lost to Boston College.
Without a jerk.
So we'll see. Some time for Tennessee. Wonder if he knows Bev.
He might. I mean, he's an LSU fan, though. That's good. John DeLong.
He probably doesn't know Bev from the Tennessee super fan.
John, spell out your phonetic spelling for your last name.
I don't know if it's John DeLon. This could be another one of Rick's accounts.
He could be from Louisiana. It could be DeLone. Or something Creole.
Man, catch us every week here. We appreciate it.
De Leon.
Well, that's negative.
That's harsh. But they backfilled. You brought up about the portals above, but they did backfill with some capable players also that they lost. I know the depth is an issue, but in terms of the starters, it wasn't as bad as it looked, or it seemed from losing all those guys. They brought in, the one and only Joe Milton, Hendon Hooker.
Hey, listen, Heupel just needs to keep his head above water for now, and I expect them to be a decent 8-win team above South Carolina.
Yeah, we're going to talk some baseball in the Holy Quad with a resident Tennessee fan. If there is a Holy Quad, it's Tennessee. Roth, and I'm sure he'll have some more thoughts on whether they're overachieving or not. But also, I think, there's just when you have guys like Tennessee still recruited over the years, you can only drop so far unless there's a complete attitude dip, which doesn't seem to be the case.
All right. We've been on opening news and notes for a while now. Why don't we – oh, no, you got your FCS.
AY still have to do the FCS and then
his FCS updates.
Yep, and then another losing week for me. I am plummeting. I'm like the Pirates in this podcast.
Eastern Washington, big win. They beat Montana, so they're up to number 4 now. The Bears down to Grizzlies down to number 6. Sam Houston State, James Madison, and South Dakota State still lead the way, 1-2-3. Big week. JMU takes on SOS for Villanova, top 10 matchup, and South Dakota State takes on the Salukis of Southern Illinois. So big week in the FCS. And week 3 results. Dan and I lose our locks yet again, fall to 1-4. Can 7-6, myself 7-6, Dan 6-8. Can hit his lock with Penn State. So now for the season, Can stays a game and a half up on me, and it looks like he has 7. That's a big disparity of games. But 3.5, 9.5 game lead over Dan.
All right.
Time to make a run. I've been hustling you guys this whole time. I blame COVID. I'm going to have to think of another excuse by the time this podcast ends.
All right, so we'll get to games of the week, and we list them here. Sorry, Red River. This is played out. A little annoyed game day's going there.
Why?
Again.
Yeah, why is game day going here? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Well, no, people know they have Red River for the first time in like 4 years.
And the Fox ESPN Wars. That's my
played out. I don't care about it. Sorry, Archie and Lane. You got smashed last week. So yes, the ranked versus ranked, but you guys.
And not to be confused, we will be going over these games.
We will.
They don't get the honor of games of the week other than Can's game.
And Georgia Auburn, my 14-point threshold was breached, so you get bumped down.
They may lose by like 28 points.
They might. So therefore, we're beefing up the Sparty again.
Let's go.
Love it.
Stanford, Arizona State. The Cardinal, the tree, fresh off that nice W over the Ducks.
Miracle W.
Catching 12. The cover, never in doubt, though. That's all we wanted. But yes, fortunate, miracle. Arizona State, impressive. Jaden Daniels and company over Chip and the Bruins last week. Laying 12. I thought this was a typo at first.
Yeah, I picked Arizona State for that reason.
There's a little too many points there.
This is kind of like the Arkansas. Sorry, Ken.
No, go ahead.
This is kind of like the Arkansas line last week, the Alabama line last week. Seems high, but
I think it's a little bit of an aberration. I was impressed by what Herm was able to do against Chip. That was a nice shellacking and Chip falling back down to earth now. But I think 12 is a little too many here. Stanford maybe riding high a little bit, but I think they've got what it takes to keep it close. A new quarterback they got decent as well, better than the one they trotted out there in week 1. So I will go with Stanford here to cover.
Yeah, as fishy as it is, I'll take the bait here. But I fully acknowledge how much this smells. So yeah, give me the tree and that pass tack. Huge letdown spot, but maybe Sparky's a little fat and sassy with that big road win last week. We'll see.
And Herm is yet to sustain any momentum in his tenure. Frankly, has Arizona State sustained momentum since Jake Plummer?
I
think the answer would be no.
Yeah, they came close to be the champ. Was it even close to the championship in 2007 or whenever they had?
No. That was I was just going to say as an example with Rudy Carpenter. They were maybe 6-0, if that. And then
when they beat? Are you talking about when they beat Oregon?
Not sure if that was the same year, but potentially, yeah.
With Dixon and his broken knee.
That was Arizona that beat them, not State. Or did they beat them after Arizona beat them? Either way, that was late in the year. So, yeah, Willie Tuitama.
Willie.
I agree, John DeLon. Agreed.
Moving on to Red River. The Horns are getting 3.5 here.
I care, John.
I'm interested in this. So the BJ Robinson hype train is really gaining some steam here. I've heard some people have got him up there with Bryce as Heisman front runners.
Because he gets 90 carries a game.
Yeah, he gets 1 million carries. I'm frankly excited. I hope he stays healthy, and I hope they win here in Red River so I can go down and see a nice game against undefeated Gundy next week. For my own selfish reasons, I do think that they will cover here. 3.5, though, I do think is, if I were not looking through burnt orange glasses, I think it might be a little too much. It would be a very small line, and I would like Oklahoma to cover. But, they still haven't really looked themselves yet. Is a rivalry game what they need to perk up a little bit and get that offense humming? Maybe. We've seen that Texas defense has been able to be gained. I mean, Arkansas to do whatever the hell they wanted against them. I think Texas Tech did score some points as well, even though they gave up a lot more points. But maybe this is what the Oklahoma offense needs to get going.
I got Texas. I really wanted to pick Oklahoma to win by 1 just because it seems, this would be if they won but not covered every game, right? Oklahoma?
I mean,
maybe they covered. They played FCS.
They didn't win in 2019. I know that.
They are
this season, I'm talking about.
They're 1-4 against the spread. Assuming,
so they must have covered their FCS game.
Assuming they were laying less than, they were laying 52.5 to Western Carolina and covered by over 20.
So there you go. We throw that out. We throw those out. Yeah, so does the F+. But I'll just take Texas outright. Screw it.
I'm going Sooners here. Mainly play against Texas.
All right, I got to put my finger up here, John. See your last comment. You remember Georgia barely scraped by against Oklahoma.
There haven't been playoffs for the last 15 years, John.
John is really milking the SEC. I love it.
Yeah, but their playoffs have been for 8 years.
And don't remember what Trevor Knight did to that Alabama team. I'm just messing with you.
Care. You know they didn't care in that game.
Point taken. When was the last time Big 12 won it all? Texas, right?
Yeah, it would be Texas.
Yeah. So point taken. But in terms of actually winning the whole thing, but they've been respectable at times. So I think it is noteworthy to at least see how this Oklahoma team progresses throughout the year until they lose.
Could get better. I think they lose at Baylor.
Well, come on. Georgia basically won the game, but they did it against Alabama.
Also, we need to – I don't know. Are people able to see
Texas in 05
comments out here? If people are just listening here, they're not going to know the context here of what we're responding to.
Well, this is now – they have to tune into the live stream.
Texas in 05 is what he's talking about.
Yeah, Texas 05, yeah. Or watch.
All right, on to the next one. Big 12 hate. Big 12.
Oh, wait. Was 08 the year Colt McCoy got hurt?
Yeah, Garrett Gilbert came in.
Exactly. 08, Florida beat Oklahoma in the next
and then 09 it was Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah, Garrett Gilbert.
Michigan State Gers. Gers catching 5.
I mean, you have to pick Sparty in the Sparty round until further notice. They're on a roll here. Gers really really tough body blow too for the Gers the last couple of weeks. Michigan and Ohio State.
I agree. I don't know how Michigan State's going to get in the top 10 here. It's just a symptom of how gross this season's been. But
what if your team loses by 20? Or you're saying they are going to get in the top 10?
Yeah, when they. I'm saying they're. Yeah,
you're right, but who cares?
Yeah, they are going to get.
Michigan State fans certainly don't.
Yeah, I certainly hope that. Oh, this is also. Hold on, this is Rutgers' homecoming game as well.
I'm going to turn around.
This is Rutgers' homecoming game as well.
Is Andy going?
I don't think Andy and friend of the pod, Nikhil, I don't think they're going, but they have been discussing it, and I was like, it's got to be either this game or I don't think their next home game is for till November. And they're like, oh yeah, it is this game. I don't think they're going. I don't think homecoming will help either. I got Michigan State by 7 here. I'll go 28-21. I do think it'll be a game.
Yeah, they're Gers because we're trying to get them out of the rut and have been since 2014 when we started.
Exactly, we're trying to get them out of the rut, John.
We're eliminating rut from the vocabulary.
Exactly.
So spread the word down there, or wherever you're at, if you're in Louisiana, or wherever.
Well, this is a game to keep chopping too, because Mel Tucker seems to have tried to steal it.
Yeah.
And I don't think
chop game. This is a game for chop.
Game for chop and
Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
Gers out right here. There's Michigan State's they're a fraud and
this is nothing new coming from AY.
And did you take Gers?
I took Michigan State. I said, how do you not pick Sparty in the Sparty round until further notice?
That's right.
This is fraud city. Gers outright.
Oh my gosh.
The reverse cover. Reverse cover by 7.
Ken, you'd have to go down to the banks if
on the banks
if
of the
they pull it out. Celebrate.
Maybe I'll stop in there on the way down to Philadelphia. I'm watching the game down in Philly.
Oh, you're going to Dave this time?
Yeah. After you reneged on the Holy Trinity Watch weekend.
I did, yeah. I got it. I'm embarrassed to say, but I also might be going to the Steeler game Sunday, so we'll see.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so we've got the SEC West consolation prize from last week's beatdowns. These two get to play each other for a bit of redemption. No, nobody's afraid. No Big Ten afraids are no.
Can's gone.
I've gone many a time.
Would you go to 2 games there?
I've been to 2. I've been
Penn
to more.
State? Well, Penn State, Rutgers, I mean.
2 Penn State, Rutgers games, yes.
He called infamously the was it the 2013 or 2014 Classic?
2014 Classic.
The Gary Nova, a.k.a. Gary Turnova, if you listen to Solid Verbal. 5 picks in that game, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was 5 picks.
Gross.
13-10.
No Talia performance, but almost. Or maybe it was a Talia performance. I think he only had 5 also. Anyways, the consolation prize from last week's 2 big showdowns in the SEC. Arkansas down to number 13, Ole Miss number 17. This is John DeLon's lane train here. Do they get it going again? They're hosting here, and they are laying 6. How you guys feel?
I'm going Pig. They get off the mat.
Pig?
Yeah.
Oh.
Lou Pig. At worst, they lose by field goal.
I think they get trained. They get trained here. Yeah, this team is a possible fraud. We knew they get exposed last week, even though we took the bait, acknowledged there was so many points. Watching that game, they have no business on the field with Georgia. And now I know it's Ole Miss, but they can't score with Ole Miss.
I don't know. Well, I mean, we know Texas A&M is ass, so that game can be thrown out the window. The Texas game remains to be seen, but that was a revved up stadium, biggest game they've had in a while. I agree. I think I lean with AY here, though I do love the Pit Man. You know, Dan was going to pick him with the shirt he's got on. But I do think he will win by more than 6. So I'll go good 41-31 game there, and they win by 10 points.
Noted.
Just a quick update, big spot here in this.
Yeah, bases chucked. 1 out.
Did you see? Was that Juan Soto in the front row?
I don't know. I
think
saw a picture of a guy wearing a baseball head with a.
That as well. But I think they just showed Juan Soto in the front row wearing a Nats jersey. I think it was a Trey Turner Nats jersey.
Support his old teammate. There you go.
So him and Scherzer. Yeah, Scherzer pitch count super high. He's like 60. Wainwright's about 50 now. But anyways. Yeah, wrapping this up, I got Ole Miss. I love the Pitman, though. The dude's the man. Yeah. So I hope they lose by, there's Soto. I hope they lose by 7. But Ole Miss.
John, you and Ken have that in
common. Daylon, you were right. I love going on Texags. Fantastic fodder. I would also highly suggest Maryland's board, very good. South Carolina, also very good board.
Panther-layer.com.
Panther-layer, they're all right. Who else is good? Who else is some good ones? Ohio State.
I'd have to imagine Nebraska's are good, right?
Nebraska's are good, yeah. With you see some of Nebraska's.
What was it? Johnny Football 69? What was that guy's name?
It was like Turkey something football or something like that.
Yeah, something with a 69. Updating us on the Applebee's in Lincoln or the Red Lobster.
You know the Red Lobster closing in Lincoln. And you know, it looks like they got the HTML boards too. It's freaking Times New Roman on there.
South Carolina.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Are you excited for this game? John, I want to hear your take on the Tennessee-South Carolina game. Can't wait to.
Pivotal matchup in the East.
Pivotal matchup for the East. I'm excited for that one. Beamer. I don't know. I'm not enthused by that hire, but that game will not be picked on.
Sorry, we'll get him next week.
Maybe. Well, speaking of a game that will be picked.
Oh!
You think last week was good? This is better.
Con Mass.
The true ass ball.
I have seen this team play in person, so I feel that I'm the most knowledgeable on the topic, and I will be taking the con. I don't know why this game isn't a pick'em. There is no home field advantage. There is no roster advantage, other than I guess Con has played a little bit better of late. So I will be taking the Con to lay the points due to fishiness.
I'll go Legend P here. I think Mass with the 3-point loss. I don't know where to go here. This is putrid football.
You could go with the sell high on Con after their performances against Vandy and Wyo in recent weeks. You could sell high on them and go with the Mass.
That's where I'm going. I think so. I will go with the Mass.
Okay, but I'm taking Con.
Dan going Con.
Yeah, gross.
I'm also going Mass because I started watching Midnight Mass last night. Interesting series on Netflix.
Who'd you pick, AY?
Not to be confused with Black Mass, who Andy thought it was about. It was about Whitey Bulger and
in this Con game.
Yeah,
Con.
All right, look out, Cam. We're about to nip at your heels.
It was basically tied with it,
They're a game and a half back. Tied in the loss column though.
Tied in the win column. All right, Georgiar at Auburn, the Deep South's oldest rivalry. John DeLong, can't wait to hear what you feel about this one. We hear Remy in the background enjoying life. Georgiar, number 2. Do you guys feel they're better than Alabama?
No.
No.
They can't score enough.
Yep.
Can they score? Sure. Can they run the ball? Great. Yes. I need to see it through the air.
All right.
Is Jordan Davis a grown man? Yes, he is.
That defense may be the best we've seen since they talk about Alabama 2011, I think.
A good 1 year. I was thinking Irish 2012, probably.
Yeah. Flash Johnson's on. All right, here we go, Flash. Georgia's a wagon lock.
Flash, can we reveal your true identity?
You know his true identity already.
I know. I'm asking if we can.
No, don't reveal it. Leave him be. Georgia is a wagon. I agree. I've seen this Auburn team in person as well. They're going to lose by at least 3 touchdowns in this game. They may get shut out also, honestly. I'll go with a 28-3 victory. Maybe 28-10. Oh no. I'm going 28-10 for Georgia here.
All right, so we have a consensus between John, Flash, and the 3 of us.
That's as lock as it gets, I think.
No, we don't.
Oh!
Well, I've got the dogs. So AY, make the case for Auburn.
Auburn, he's calling from Malzahn's office.
Calling from Malzahn's office.
In Orlando.
Look, I don't feel good about it. I know defense travels. Bo Nix at home. Is he starting?
After last week's performance, he better be.
He better be, right?
He was amazing last week.
He was amazing last week. I was so sure JD's team down there was going to knock off Auburn. I still don't think they're good, but Bo Nix at home is a different quarterback. And it's just one of those, you're getting 14.5. Jordan Hare.
We have Stetson Bennett again for this game? In all likelihood?
He played the whole game last week, right?
Yeah. JT was dressed, but I think we'll probably
I know he was there. I saw that Stetson started. I mean, it's amazing they got him back there starting.
And these Auburn running backs run the ball so freaking hard.
True.
I love watching them run.
Tank and 27. What's 27?
Are they going to be stifled? Sure they are. But maybe Georgia gets stifled too. 23-10. The cover to me.
Yeah, this is going to go a long way, Ken, in your resume if you can get by your opponent this week. This Auburn performance is very important because I think Wisconsin's going to be what they're going to be after.
I don't think if Penn State can get by this. I mean, Penn State's winning.
Don't spoil anything.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't think Auburn's, whether they're good or bad, and that resume will really be a big pivot point. It's going to come down if Penn State can take care of business or not. I don't think the Auburn and the effect on the resume will really come into the equation.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And this one, up to now 3.5 points. It opened at 1, which everybody raised their eyebrows at. Newly minted top 10 Michigan. Are you guys believers in the Harbolder and the redemption off the mat?
I have to. I have to take a mea culpa here.
We're getting a shake of the head, and we're getting a have to over here.
Yeah,
here we go.
We were on kind of opposite ends when we did the preview for them. I was not a believer. I was sick and tired. I went out on a limit for them in 2018.
Grant did too.
Yeah, they ultimately almost got there. They basically got to a playoff quarterfinal and then gacked. And then the last couple of years have left something to be desired. So I was not feeling great about them. I had Washington foolishly, as we all know. But I think to put it all together again last week, at least until proven otherwise, I'm riding Harbolder in most instances. So Michigan minus 3.5. Thought about locking up, but that would be stupid.
That would be stupid.
So
the interesting thing is,
be careful
with this team is they. I mean, we know that they lean on the run, but they couldn't really run the ball against Wisconsin's defense, and they had to do it through the air. And McNamara, to his credit, got it done. 200-something odd yards. They only were able to run for 100-something. They out-physicaled Wisconsin. It was a good win, but as we alluded to before, Dan said just a couple minutes ago, Wisconsin's what they are, I think, here, and which isn't very good.
Which will be – well, no, I don't think that. I don't think they're obviously a top 10, 15 team.
You think they're a 7-8-1 team?
Yeah, I think they can circle the wagons. And frankly, there's a very Stocko-y or Sorgi-y quality to the Wolfman. So I don't know what the status is going to be.
So he ended up finishing the game?
For over a quarter he played. Okay. There's instead of
pretty much the whole second half. Mertz got hurt really early.
Yeah, instead of Mertz, if he can take over, that'd be interesting. In a way that I draw a complete blank. What was the guy's name that came in when they had Melvin Gordon going crazy? They won the Big Ten unexpectedly. They were like 8-6.
Brooks Bollinger?
No. Number 10, Phillips.
Kurt Phillips. He's got a Kurt Phillips quality to him, a Sorgi, a Stocko quality to him.
But freaking Chase Wolf before this game's had 11 career passes and 3 interceptions.
Yeah, but the other ones were all completed to the right team, though.
What are the all? Was it 11 for 11?
Yeah, I believe Gus said he was 12 for 12. They've all been completed. 9 to one team, 3 to the other.
Good one, Gussie. Quick, John, I got to respond here to your Harbaugh slander. The guy's coaching the Super Bowl. Come on, and turn around Stanford.
I don't know about that, Dan. I think
and turn around Stanford after Lat and whoever else.
Yeah, but I think the more recent resume right now indicates otherwise. I mean, that will afford you a long leash, but I think that leash is definitely tightened where it is.
I agree, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding there. Or that you can't take it away because
no, you don't take it away, but you have no belief in people like John said, given the current team and makeup and coaching.
All right, LSU brethren uniting on the Harbolder front.
Well,
loaded San Fran. They were terrible for like 6 years.
So Dan's going Michigan. I'm going Michigan as well, but Nebraska is playing better, and there's a lot of momentum on them, and that's why I'm going the other direction. Too much love for Nebraska.
Completely whiffed on Michigan last week with Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So we're not going to lock them, but let's double down against Harbaugh. I'll take Nebraska outright as well. 2 Big Ten upsets at home this week.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. Okay. LSU. Gondolon's LSU Tigers. Bayou Tigers. This is a stretch here. Who they got? They got Kentucky, and then they got Florida, I think, and someone in between those two. Let me see the schedule. It's a tough schedule coming up for LSU.
This is always an interesting experiment. I would like to leave it open. John, I know there's a little bit of delay. As a fan of LSU, do you want them to lose or keep losing so he gets fired? Where's Ron?
Dude,
No,
look at
Georgiar.
this stretch. They've got Kentucky, they got Kentucky, Florida, Mississippi, and then Bama, and then Arkansas. They could lose 5 in a row here, 6 in a row. You count the one they had last. Okay,
He's clearing his throat. I am taking and locking up. I'm not pandering to the crowd here. LSU.
Oh yeah, Kentucky.
Selling high. Kentucky.
They've been
shat on
riding
them
way
last
too
week.
much.
I shat on Kentucky last week. They shoved it in my face on the backs of a blocked field goal return for a touchdown. They figured out some things, LSU, and then they get off the mat.
I agree. It is back against the wall game here for Ed O. I think Kentucky is like to borrow from the good men at Solid Verbal, an LRO team, Luck Runs Out team. They went to overtime with Basilak and fucking shitty Missouri. They got outgained, much to Dan Mullen's chagrin. He pointed that out in the press conference. He said very smugly. He's like, we outgained them. They did get outgained by Florida. They're finding ways to win, which is Mark Stoops' MO. But the luck does run out here. LSU going on the road here. They got nobody to play for but themselves. I like them to come out here with the win.
Okay. And John said does not want to lose to Kentucky, but would like to lose less than 8 games to ensure O is fired. Okay.
Lose less than 8 games.
I know what he means. He doesn't want it's like when Roth said the Steelers should go 1-16. It's where I said, well, I can't stomach worse than 5-12. I get what he means.
Okay.
AY?
Yeah, I'll go back to Kentucky 2 weeks in a row. I just don't know if LSU's going to show up at all. Stingley's out, which I think is probably better for them.
You think he's a cancer? Is he a cancer?
No, I think he's playing to an extent. I think he's been playing hurt and just not great. And I know he's definitely seen his name atop draft boards and feel himself a bit. So, yeah, I think there's a little bit of element there of him being above everyone there. So I'm not saying he is, but I can see it.
I can see it.
And I think it's better for him not to be there. I think the luck goes on for one more for the Little Blue Nation.
AY really, he's all by himself on a bunch of these picks. He's gonna put up some distance between.
It's moving week.
It is moving week. Although I'm not messing around here in this next game. Bama, A&M. Bama minus the points.
Yeah, I pushed my luck with that Florida game.
17.5 in this case.
This is going to be so. At CBS,
I'm going Jimbo.
No!
Calzada. Championship drive for the backdoor cover, Calzada.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry,
I have learned my lesson. I'm not going against Saban again. I pushed my luck too much with that Florida win I got, so I will take Bama minus anything again.
Yeah. This breaks all the rules. I mean, I'm getting double digits with a home team in a conference game, but it's the Bama breaks it. So, yeah, Bama.
Just catch up on the comments here, John. Yeah, I could go watch it, but I'm just going to look at the composite recruiting rankings here for this one.
Taz
Levis, I do like it. I'd like him more on your team, Ken, I think, but that's not a thing. All right, Bama covers either from John.
Kalada's in.
Pitt's winning. We're 1-0 in the Holy Tri games. Win the bye. We've had a ton of interaction, which appreciated. I will go and read these ACC odds to win the conference that I took a screenshot of, and frankly are pretty preposterous. So the PSA that I won't bury the lead here is do not bet on any of these other than potentially Clemson at plus money because they were pretty – I can't remember if for some reason 8-1 is sticking out of my head they were. But I feel like with North Carolina and the hype machine they had, it might not have been that high to win the ACC. But we've got Clemson plus 110, Pitt plus 450. Definitely don't bet that. Virginia Tech plus 750, Woke plus 8. That would be my second favorite. But they're not gonna get demolished probably by Clemson by the time they play them. NC State 10-1 and North Carolina.
I don't know if Clemson can demolish anybody.
By the time they play them, I said they don't play them until November.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's crazy that Pitt's the second choice, and frankly, that they're even remotely close to Clemson at this moment, based on what we've seen. I agree. They are an embarrassment, John.
That does speak to the ACC. I think that's less of.
You see, we got the Pitt. I'm 1/3 of the Holy Try is Pitt featured, so you can always skip ahead.
And don't let AY's shirt fool you. He's not a Penn State fan.
He's not, or is he? He might be for the week. We'll see. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any additional thoughts or echo my thoughts, but it's crazy.
It is amazing to see. Dan, we talked about this after the Western Michigan loss.
Oh my gosh, can with the continued patronizing is.
What would it take for you to get back on the train?
No, I said that. Yeah, I proclaimed that last week. If they win, they beat Georgia Tech, which they did, and then they beat Virginia Tech. I said I believe. I have to check the tape. I will stop being a sourpuss about Pitt.
Okay.
So I won't be back in
if
until
they beat Clemson. What will happen if they beat Clemson? And
there's a chance that I don't come back in for the entire season, because if they win all those games, I'm just going to be fixated on losing to a MAC school and how bad the ACC. If they were going to be undefeated, wouldn't care. I'd be propping up everything. I'd be saying Georgia Tech would win 6 games in the SEC. I'd be all over John. So I'm not sorry. You know why? Look at those NFL Hall of Famers that we got playing the NFL.
Oh, my God.
Look at the history.
That is
I love it. I'm doing the show from Pittsburgh and wouldn't change it for a thing. So, on to
but he would change his coach. He would change his coach for a thing.
I did, yeah. I did say I'm ready to move on from Narduzzi. So
he would change, just like you, John. He is looking for new representation.
Only Pat Narduzzi did not win a national championship 2 years ago, so it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can swap. Let me know your thoughts on that. AY. Pivotal ACC matchup here.
Pivotal.
Yeah.
I agree.
What do you agree with?
He said,
I agree with John DeLon.
He said, I sound like a Michigan fan bragging about Tom Brady. No, but those guys were great in college also. Brady was,
Brady was very very mediocre.
Not assy, but yeah, mediocre. Started an Orange Bowl?
And he led a comeback against
Alabama.
And Penn State. And Jerry Sandusky in Penn State.
Did not realize that.
It was a very nice comeback as well.
I heard a hypothetical the other day saying Aaron Donald would have finished in the Heisman voting like Ndamukong Suh had he played in Nebraska.
He played anywhere but Pitt.
A deep drive by
tie game, huh?
Tie game.
Turn of the burner.
Are you gonna say it like the Castellanos guy? He'll have Castellanos home run 4
John Sterling.
Yep. No, is that who it was?
No, John Sterling was the one who last night?
No, we talked about back. I think it was Tom Brenneman.
The guy that got fired.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was
Brenneman. Yeah,
the Reds. Yeah.
All the memes that have been this week from Urban Meyer statements.
Yeah.
David.
Oh, and it's a deep drive to left by Castellanos.
Yeah, Castellanos. I don't know if I'll be back again.
All right, so yeah, the game Saturday night at the ACC Network. O'Brien on the call, I believe.
I'm taking some incoming fire here, but you go ahead. I'll respond.
Yeah.
He's talking about the Harbolder fan, not you, Dave.
I know.
Tech is now favored by half a point. That thing is all over the place, like a hummingbird, from 1-1 each side, flipping quickly. I mean, I don't think Virginia Tech's very good. I don't think Notre Dame's that good. I think the defense is still pretty great. I think I got a little tired last week. 17 points in the first half, but since these 2 touchdown drives were 12 yards and 19 yards, the offense set them up to fail big time. And then you're going to give up a 70-yard touchdown drive eventually. Sure, go for it, John. This game, I think Notre Dame bounces back, though. I don't think they're good. I don't think Virginia Tech's good. But I think Notre Dame wearing the white jerseys and the gold pants feels good.
Yeah.
And Kelly said they know who the quarterback is.
But they're not announcing it.
Is it going to be Pine? Do you think it's Pine?
I would go Pine. Pine based on what I saw.
It has to be Pine.
Young quarterback, ride it out.
He can move around. Cohen, again, just not even accurate. Painful. Let Pine run around in there. I don't want to see Buck in the game, really. Let Pine do it. And don't play Kevin Austin. The guy can't catch. With last week when Notre Dame was down.
Is that number 4?
Yeah, they got to 17-13, and they got one first down, and then they had that. It was like a 2nd and 15, and Austin dropped that 20-yarder over the middle. That would have taken them to midfield. That was.
He had a good game against Wisconsin.
Yeah, the game before that, he had 6 targets, no catches, 3 drops.
John, you're confusing that with Notre Dame. Is what you're confusing that with.
I'm not reading them. I think they go to Lane Stadium and get a win. The offensive line is still really bad, but I think the defense creates a bunch of havoc, and they escape with a win. I think they look good, decent. 27-17.
Yeah, I think this is a good bounce back situation for them. They're going to go in there.
Wait, 27
a lot
points?
of those mistakes.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe the offense has something. Yeah, 27. Sorry.
All right.
27 is a lot.
It is. Yeah, it is.
27 is a lot of points for that. I mean, maybe defense. Maybe Hamilton gets a touchdown or something. But maybe. I agree with you. I'll go Notre Dame with the victory here. Virginia, you know how I feel about Fuente.
Yeah.
A very bland team. I think this will be a victory for Notre Dame, something like 20-13, something like that.
Although, if Virginia Tech being favored does hold, then we have one for the formula this week, which was 0-2 last week.
Or is it 1-1?
No, LSU won.
Or Auburn won. That's right. Yeah.
And Michigan took care of.
Yeah, I had Michigan. Yeah, so I had Michigan LSU. That's why I thought it went 1-1. Yeah. But I split. So it's a miracle I did pick at least one of those 70-30 games. It's got to be even more, I feel like.
I feel like it is, but last week was bad, yeah.
Just quick thoughts on your game. I watched a good bit of it last week. Dumb loss, the epitome of a dumb loss.
Oh, yeah, bad.
I was very excited to come on and talk about this game we're previewing when they got it to 17-13, not 17-14. And thought they were going to pull it all the way, reel them all the way in and pull it out. Because even though I went back on my word about Michigan earlier in the pod, I did say this would be Notre Dame's first loss at Virginia Tech.
You did,
I would be very excited. You would have 3 great escapes and ripe for the picking. But I'll stick with the Hokies just because my word can be oak sometimes.
Can be okie. Dan's word can be okie for the Hokies.
That's right.
Okie for the Hokies.
You can continue your roast down there, John. I'll get up to the stand and give my rebuttal at the end.
All right, we're on to what John DeLon thinks should be.
2 diet sodas and goes to bed at 11. Where did you hear this from?
John, I mean, I'm sure. I don't know if the tailgate scene is as rowdy as it gets in Baton Rouge. It does get rowdy. The parties do get rowdy as well.
Is Baton Rouge a nice area?
The city is not. I know the city.
I know the city.
I know the city is very bad. The city
is it like a South Bend Notre Dame type deal?
No, I don't know if it's that bad, but I know the city's not that good. I'm sure it's a great time. I know that we've been dying to get down there for a tailgate. John, if you host a good tailgate down there in Baton Rouge, we would love to come partake. Yeah. But Okay, I mean they get rowdy in Iowa City. I've had a good time out there. It's I think they got like #1 party school immediately after Penn State got #1 party school. Because every time you get like ranked #1 party school,
ghetto adjacent. There you go. There's your jack.
Yes, LSU is ghetto adjacent. Yes,
there's your generally nice area. Okay.
Yeah. So Iowa City, then your Iowa friend John DeLon for the Iowa friend. The last time I was down there in Iowa City 2019, Iowa did not. I mean, we went in there. There were yellow uniforms against Penn State. Penn State, I think at that point was like borderline top 10. They might have been number 10 or something like that. Iowa was like number 16 or number 19, something like that. But they did not feel like they really had a chance to beat Penn State. They came into it with a loss, I think, and they just. Kinnick wasn't loud. It was a night game, but like they really weren't loud like I expected them to be. Like, the reputation is Kinnick at night is where top 5 teams, undefeated teams go to lose, right? But we didn't find that to be the case when we went there. This time around, I think a very way different team is amped up. People talk about this being Kirk's best team ever. And listen, they lead the country in turnovers. I think at 16. Dan, you see who's tied with them for the team lead in turnovers? Iowa, who's tied with them?
Tied with them.
My
guess would be Cincinnati.
No, it's the one team we discussed on Sunday. Freaking Hawaii on the back of the
6 to 1.
The fraud.
6 to 1.
Yeah, so I think both of them lead the country, 16 turnovers. They are I mean, John, you remember, I don't know how old you are, John.
Brad Banks.
You remember Brad Banks, Fred Russell.
Brad Banks probably should have played in the national championship.
That team was very good.
That's a good team.
In 2002. So, I mean, they had Bob Sanders on that team too.
Yep.
Dallas
Clark.
You
said Fred Russell.
Yep. I said Fred Russell. They were very good in 2002. But yes, that's besides the point. This team is extremely complete. Iowa, they got a fantastic, like John says here, fantastic secondary. They got 3 defensive ends up front that are freaking long as shit, big old guys, corn-fed, like 270-pound J.J. Watt looking motherfuckers up there that I think could give Penn State some issues on the interior line. Obviously, we've talked about this on the pod several times. Penn State's interior line has had trouble getting up the ball, blocking, especially the center, as well as the right guard, or the left guard, I'm sorry. It's been a revolving door. They've settled on the Harvard grad, but he's also, technically sound, but doesn't have the weight. He's not a big old guy that's built for the Big Ten, and he's had trouble early on moving people. That in turn has been an issue running the ball. We've discussed this, and in this last game against Indiana, Penn State, again, they had 200-some-odd rushing yards, but 50-something of them came from Clifford, one of them on a big run. Kevon Lee had a big run as well, 44-yarder, and then another 20-some-odd yarder on that same drive. But other than that, it was tough sledding again. And Kane, he got hurt. He played he got one carry against Villanova. He'd been dinged up coming out of the Auburn game. He wasn't 100% himself. He was still getting his feet under him after missing all of last year. The getting dinged up definitely didn't help. He definitely seems he's a step or two slow. And, it's I'm sure they're trying to do right by the young man, but I think he's got to take a backseat, especially in a game this pivotal against the number 3 team in the country. I think you got to feed the ball. I mean, he'd be an asset if he were healthy to having 2 big backs that can grind out yards, but you're probably going to have to lean on the other big back, Kevon Lee, who tries to run like he's not a big back. He's like 240 pounds, but he runs very upright and doesn't really break tackles. But if he can hold on the ball for one, I think he can be good. And then the Baylor transfer, John Lovett, has been coming on lately. They're getting him more and more involved, and I think you may need someone like that who can get to the outside.
Who's number 10 again? Sorry,
that's John Lovett.
That's what I thought. I just want to make sure.
John Lovett.
Yeah, he was doing some things against the Hoosiers.
Yep. I'm here. I'm seeing what John DeLon has. Penn State's offense, I will agree that they haven't been dynamic, like they haven't put up the numbers that you've seen, but seeing the way that Yurcich has called the games, it's very methodical, He's got a plan for attacking the defenses, and I think that if the line can protect like they have been protecting, Clifford will have time back there and will be able to, I do have belief in Yurcich and his scheme to be able to find some holes in that Iowa secondary. I think a lot of it is based on pressure and quarterbacks being frazzled. And then, I mean, obviously you saw last Friday making terrible decisions, right? Getting rattled and making terrible decisions. I think both teams are gonna load up and really try to stop the run. I think Penn State do the same thing with Avery Kelly Martin and then Goodson, who's been looking like Barry Sanders back there. I definitely don't think he'll be able to dance around like he tried to dance around against Maryland. I like both Penn State and Penn State and Iowa to be able to stifle each other's run games, which will come down to the quarterback play, right? And the matchups. I frankly, I know a lot of people haven't seen Penn State's other receivers, but everybody knows about Jahan Dotson. And for my money, the best receiver in the Big Ten up to this point in a loaded wide receiver class. We talked about this in the preview. This is absolutely loaded wide receiver class in the Big Ten. I think he's the best of them all, at least thus far. And two very capable wide receivers, along with a number of capable pass catchers at tight end.
And capable wild fat asses.
And wild fat, I really hope we don't see that this week.
I want to see the wild fat ass.
I really hope we don't see that this week. I really do think Penn State's skilled players and the talent they've got will be able to exploit and be able to win their matchups against Iowa's stacked defense. I'm sure they'll have some of their wins themselves, but I think that'll be the difference here. In a very closely contested game, you got two quarterbacks that I think battle-tested wise. Clifford, he's seen the lows of the lows and not the highs of the highs, the mid-level highs of the mid-level highs. I like Clifford here. He's playing well. He's got confidence. I like him to come out and make a couple of plays here, a couple of long balls that Iowa may not be used to seeing or have the confidence that they haven't seen this year. And Pete Trask will have a mistake here or two against Penn State secondary, which may be the best secondary Penn State's had. I know, John, you've seen plenty of better secondaries in your time down there in Baton Rouge, but Penn State hasn't seen a secondary like this in a long time. I don't think they'll have too many issues taking care of the outside threats. I know you deal with Laporta, but you got short-ass wide receivers in Reganey, and the number 16. They do not threaten our secondary, I don't think, very much. And by virtue, I don't think Petras can really get too much going. I think it'll be a really, really good game. I like Penn State to come out here on top. I'll go 20-17. A close game. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be nip-tuck the whole way.
Flash Johnson checking on the total. 41, so you think under?
I
would think obvious. It's the obvious under is under.
Yeah, I'm going under.
I don't have strong. I never totals can be. You could have one of these teams go off late, like Irish did against via pick sixes, but still you could have I would comp it to the Penn State Michigan game from was it 2017. A little bit back and forth. Both offenses had their turns, but I think there was 34 points going into the fourth quarter, maybe. And then they exploded. Penn State ran it up, frankly, more so than exploded. But yeah, I think the obvious play would be the under. Looks like it'll be great weather, actually.
It's going to be 80 degrees out there.
Yeah. So it looks like it'll be great weather. So take that into consideration.
Unseasonable.
Penn State, as we know, is a bad weather team now. Since 2018 against Pitt and Michigan State.
Not against Michigan State.
2018? Oh, they lost that game. Maybe there's the next year, 2019.
2019 was bad weather.
They won the bad weather.
Yes.
And this line has now dropped down to -1.5. Wow.
1.5 now from 3. It was 3 back over the summer, and then it opened up at 2.5 or 3 on Sunday. Yeah.
So
I
have a couple things to share.
Okay.
First of all, your game last week, hilarious that Tom Allen went for the points.
That was
get
good.
On the board.
I like that.
4th and 6, a little bit gray, but it's 21-0, and you've been in the red zone or the Penn State territory 2 other times, maybe. Disgusting. They pulled that was the Dino Babers against Notre Dame, trying to get on the board and avoid the shutout. But this game, I said I wanted to let it percolate and not be knee jerk, but I made this game. I was stunned by it. I made like 5.5, 6, but I'm wondering, given that it now is going down and down from 3, right?
Yep.
If I'm just giving too much credit for how dominant Iowa was on the scoreboard. I mean, they eviscerated the bowel movement, which was not.
I mean, everybody
that
does
much of a
that on
surprise.
Friday nights against the Blackout.
Exactly. But against Iowa State as well. So I'm wondering if that is why.
You know where I stand on the Iowa State.
Yeah. I'm going off of how Iowa State's played in other games, not just that game. So I'm wondering if that's what it is, and this would be detected on the fishy meter for me, being so low. And I revised after week 1. I revised my Penn State record from 9-3 to 10-2. I will pick this as a loss still, but
this was a loss of line in the predictions.
Yep. I just wonder
right now. I could be.
I think you have to give Penn State, but the only thing is if they get into a game like they did and they're getting gashed, you can't necessarily bank on what happened to Wisconsin in the red zone.
What's happened all year? Penn State, I think they've had 5 red zone of 14 red zone situations and given up 5 touchdowns, I think, or something like that.
The second mention of the LORO, they're not an LOR team, but that may run out for this game. So you may have to LRO, yeah. So that may run out for this game. But
it's true,
man, if we're watching these beautiful punts, that Kirk, he hasn't gotten to punt as much. He's at a punting deficit for his normal diet.
He's gonna be hankering. He's gonna be hankering for a punt.
Then I would like Penn State in that, because that's kind of what we saw in the game you went to that you already mentioned. A couple swing plays in that game.
Yeah. And
that was the difference. So
I'm
excited to watch it. I do not like that Gus is on. He's going to be in the call, right, Gus?
Yeah,
or is he doing Red River?
Yeah. No, Red River's on ABC.
Oh, excuse me. Who's the nude then? That's Ohio State.
The nude is Ohio State, Maryland.
The
big nude is
I think it's Dusty.
Dvorak.
I think so.
I didn't even know he went to Fox.
Yeah. So I'll pick a score. I'll go.
Maybe Dusty's doing
23-13 be my score.
Dusty's at noon. I don't know what game.
13 Iowa you got.
Yeah, I'll get your under there flash in my score prediction. 23-13.
I think there's 2 really big LRO trends for either side here.
Here we go.
One, Iowa turnovers. That's like if they're playing baseball, their BABIP right now is 900. It's
incredible, absolutely incredible.
Can you know that? No.
Can you believe it?
If Can get this, what BABIP stands for, I will be impressed.
Batters.
No. Try again.
Batting average on balls
in play.
Basically means if your BABIP is good batting average, say a great batting average 300. If your BABIP is 900, then you're lucky. You're getting some amazing luck when the ball is in play, and that is Iowa's defense. Again, they're causing havoc. They're all over the place. Some of this is deserved turnovers, but this many, no, that'll normalize. And then on the counter to that is Penn State's red zone defense. That will normalize as well. Yes, it's very stingy, but it's very hard to be that stingy for this long. Which will normalize first? That's part of pitchers' xERA. When's it going to normalize? It could go 4 starts, could go 10, could go a whole year. When does the trend stop with all trends? That's how it is. Here, I don't know. Penn State secondary, huge strength. A bit neutralized here. Iowa's 2 leading receivers, not even receivers. Therefore, you're going to need to get help from the safeties coming down. They got linebacker. Iowa very creative, creating mismatches, or matchups they like with their running backs, tight ends, H backs. They move guys around. Penn State definitely more explosive down the field with the pass attack if need be. And advantage, like I said, Goodson, Barry Sanders Jr. back there, impressive. Long boys haven't really got going.
AY just likes to work long boys into every podcast.
I don't know if they will this week, but I wouldn't mind seeing them try and get going here. Because, again, Clifford on the road. Penn State enjoyed 4 straight home games. Home cooking. Back on the road, the offense, I know it was first game of the year. Dreadful offense against Wisconsin. I know it's come a long way.
The second half was fantastic.
Oh, okay, that's a really strong word.
250 yards in the second half. Should have had 20 points in the second half.
It was better.
Maybe they could have been stopped in the second half.
Maybe I'm just so tainted by the dreadfulness of the first half.
The first half was horrid.
Putrid.
First half.
And I know I've seen some bad offense this year, so believe me. Clifford on the road.
Ironically enough.
Clifford on the road, I don't love it. Iowa, biggest recruiting weekend ever, maybe, for them.
It's got to be up there. Because they didn't play anybody really in that 15 season, right?
They beat Iowa State, but then again, the turnovers of that game, the turnovers in Maryland, these have got to slow down. I really don't know who wins this game.
Yeah, I hate picking it.
What are we picking for that? 3?
2.
2?
And it is down to 1.5 for whatever that's worth.
Penn State by a field goal. 2017. Is that what you picked, Cam?
Yeah, I think so.
I said 2017 Penn State.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love Petrus. I don't love Clifford on the road.
The Petras.
Yeah, that's why I'm geared way more in on if Iowa could do what Wisconsin did, basically.
I think my 3.
Hand the fucking ball off.
Yeah, I think my 3 things here, Iowa doesn't get the huge turnover edge that they have been getting. And Penn State hits an explosive play when they need to.
20-17 Penn State you got.
A free drive. They take instead of needing a 75-yard drive, they get a free 75-yard touchdown, which is huge.
I like that.
And if Penn State does not get an explosive play, they will not win this game. But I think they do.
One explosive play.
I think they get it, and boom.
Defense holds.
They haven't had. I mean, you throw out the Villanova game, which is their highest ranked win, by the way. They really haven't had game trends. They really haven't had like the big explosive play. At least the receivers. They've had a couple of big ones to tight ends. I'll say that. But
it's going to be the
tight end delays, tight end
tackles.
Yeah.
Tackle tight ends.
It is a very rich, deep tight end room there.
Yes.
Possibly
the best.
A university of them.
Possibly.
Clearly, you didn't watch the game down in Atlanta. Just kidding.
Cruel.
Locks. I already went on the board, not pandering whatsoever.
Who was yours?
LSU +3.
I
got a 3.5, but I'll take the +3.
I did bet on Penn State today, actually.
Nice.
I got him
at. That's why he's got the shirt on.
Don't do it, AY. Do not jinx him.
I got him at 73.5 with the spread the love this week. It's
the pendulum. You're right. I gotta go in. I gotta go in and do that.
Drive to Easton. You got to drive to Easton.
Well, I'm going to Philly. I'm going to Philly on Saturday.
Yeah, so make sure to log in quick and get your free $25.
Get that flash. Spread the love on Penn State. I know you don't like it. He's a Pitt fan also, but
it's at 73.5 right now. So there you go. That's the only. That's it. I didn't take the normal game. Normal game. Ken, do you have one? Because I don't have one yet, but I can search here quick.
Flash going with Liberty over. Who are they playing? Fun Row?
I'm going with Michigan State at the Gers.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I don't know.
I'll take them. Last time they were -5 against Nebraska. That wasn't good.
Liberty's got Mitsu this week. Flash locking them up 19-0. Give us while we're finished up here. Is an NFL props wizard. If you have one.
There you go.
He's a fantasy nutbag too. I think he's in 6 leagues.
While we're waiting on that, Dan, what were your thoughts on Many Saints of Newark? That's not a problem. That's not a problem. Dan, waiting on Remy.
Thank you. Sorry. There he goes again. Apologies. But yes, I liked it. There you go. Thoughts on Many Saints. We could do a deeper recap at a later date. Maybe if Roth cancels for the baseball portion next week, since we've only got Pitt, Virginia Tech, we can do more Many Saints. I'd like to watch it again.
I'll watch it again.
Yeah. AY. Have you seen any Sopranos?
No.
No.
Do you intend to?
No.
Yeah, you do. Within the next 20 years. Come on.
Next 20 years.
Last Dance Sopranos binge over a month. Keep going.
The Wire as well.
As far as Lockeroo goes, I'm going Baylor.
No prop. I'm sorry I put you on the spot. Maybe next week.
What is Baylor?
-2.5 against Ty Henry.
Wow. Ty Henry with a banner performance this weekend, by the way.
We could also recap that next week.
We'll do that off air.
G-Men +7. All right.
Prepare
a NFL prop for next week, please.
Possibly a week late on the G-Men.
True. AY with the I talk about burying the lead. AY with the greatest
the New York doubleheader.
New York doubleheader with a double down, winless New York teams. He picks them both and they win outright. Amazing. That's all.
The double dip, the double down.
For those that have not been paying attention, the Brian Cimarelli, in the New York Times, no big deal. He has a weekly Survivor / I guess just general value-based Survivor pick'em pool where you pick 2 teams per week. Point values assigned. If your team wins, you get a certain point value. If they lose, then you lose points. And the point values are based on the spread. Maybe I'll get a screenshot up for next week's show. We can share it to everybody. The pool was closed off though, exclusive. But AY, with the greatest, I honestly can't remember. It was highlighted in the recap. I think it could have used a little bit more. I'm about to follow up to the email he sent out.
It was big. It was +12. I don't remember seeing many +12.
No, yeah, for it to be those teams is what it is to me. And I mentioned it, didn't say anything, just watched the scores, and then celebrated at the very end. Amazing. And we're not even in the same conference, AY and I. So I had there was no incentive for him to lose from me. I wouldn't root against you this early in the season anyway.
We're not jostling for playoff position.
Yeah. So.
All right, we'll go Giants this week. Maybe I'll go back to the well. We'll see.
G-Men. And on top of Flash's point here about the Cowboys, only team 4-0 against the spread, there is a long-standing trend where if you just take the underdog in the Cowboys games, it's at least 55%. Whether the Cowboys are a dog, Marco D'Angelo.
Very long Marco trend.
Yes.
Very long.
It's at least 55%. Inexplicable, just what it is.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
A longer one today. Thank you for sticking with us.
Love the interaction from you.
It was the interaction. It was the interaction that kept us up late tonight.
Yeah. Ando chiming in. Sorry, lost on the Yankees. Hopefully you got on the Cardinals.
Sorry to hear that, Ando, man.
Good deal. Good pod. Good luck this weekend. Enjoy the weekend.
Both of you guys. Sorry, I ruined watch weekend with my embarrassing thing that I won't disclose.
For me, AY, beautiful state capital, blue state, the Commonwealth. To my west, D-Burg.
Good night, all.
Can, to my east.
That's for you, Hilwani.
Good night. Thanks, Sean DeLon. Thanks, Les Johnson.
Yeah, thanks for the interaction. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good one.